I frequently use assessments in my coaching engagements. As a newer coach, you may be wondering, how do I connect assessment data with change in the coachee or insights for change? I'll share an example in this video. Recently, I worked with a client who took the PXT Select Assessment. If you've been following this channel for some time, you know that that's an assessment that I regularly use in my coaching engagements with leaders and executives. I feel that's a very appropriate assessment that helps create insights that can drive change in the client that help them to be more effective leaders. Now, before we go further in this video, I want to make sure that I set the context. So this is a look at a sample report for the PXT Select Assessment. In the area that I want to direct your attention to is in the behavioral traits section. If you look down the list of behavioral traits, you'll get to accommodation. Accommodation is scored from 1 to 10, with the client landing somewhere in that range based on their responses to questions in the assessment around their level of steadfastness or agreeability when accommodating others. Now, in this sample report, you can see that this person's score is a 5. My client was further over towards the right side with a score of, I believe it was 9, which makes them highly agreeable. Make sense? All right, now that I've set the context, I'll explain how this insight was woven into the coaching engagement and created a positive outcome for this leader. Now we move to the coaching engagement itself. Once we have an understanding of the assessment data and what that might mean about this person in leadership, specifically looking at accommodation now. As this leader moved into a new role, what they found is the demands on their time exponentially increased. That's fairly standard. They have more people depending on them in their new leadership capacity. So while their high score on accommodation would make them very agreeable and accommodating to people who request their time, they needed to find a new type of leadership that would create some boundaries around their time. Otherwise, they're going to get overwhelmed and be swamped all the time and unable to meet the demands of their new role. And we just can't have that. Right? That's not the point of the coaching. The point is for them to feel more successful and effective in their new leadership role. So this insight led the client to believe that they had to start establishing some boundaries around them and being less agreeable. What would that look like? Well, for example, if someone would send an instant message saying, "Got a minute?" The ready-made response that was created through a focused coaching session was, "No, I don't at this time. Please schedule time with me when it works for you." So the client would be directing that person who wanted to interrupt their workflow and have them drop everything and contact them to instead let them know, "I'm busy. Please go to my calendar. It's available online. If you find time with me and this is that important, then schedule it." A few good things happen here. One, they're letting the person know that they're establishing a boundary, and that may be a heads up for the future. 2, they're saying, hopefully this is important enough that you need to schedule time on my calendar. And of course, you can't schedule a 5-minute block on a calendar. So the person might just give up and go figure it out on their own or seek out another resource. And 3, the leader is able to return to their workflow and get some good work done that is a higher priority than what that got a minute request might have been. With the client, we created several ready-made responses that would make them less agreeable and more able to focus on serving everyone and coming to the realization that they can't serve every one person in the organization, right? They can't serve everybody individually. They have to spend more of their time serving people collectively. And that's a way to understand that I'm still bringing value to the organization, but at a higher level now that I'm being asked to operate at a higher level. So that was the insight that was created from that assessment data that came about early in the engagement, but it was woven into the engagement and came up a few times as we talked about demands on their time, how to be more productive, effective. We kept coming back to that high score on accommodation and what that meant in terms of their daily behavior. I hope this example helps you understand how to weave assessment data into a coaching engagement. Of course, every engagement is different and different insights will surface from assessments, and sometimes they will not be as directly as connected to the engagement and the coaching outcome and changes the client makes as this one is. But with work and using an assessment many times and gaining insights from the client and learning more about the client, it's likely that you'll start to be able to do this as well. This video is brought to you by the Center for Executive Coaching in-person seminar, which is coming up soon. The next one is in April of 2023. If you're watching this video after that date, note that there are also seminars coming up in July of 2023 and November of 2023. So it is definitely not too late to learn more and register to attend an upcoming in-person seminar from the Center for Executive Coaching, where I present these seminars as a faculty member. The URL is in the description below on your screen, so go to that site to learn more about this event. If you'd like to learn more about the PXT Select Assessment or pairing assessments in coaching, feel free to send me an email at michael@bayareaexecutivecoach.com or place comments below about how you use assessments in coaching. If this video has been helpful, please like it, comment on it, and share it with other coaches. And of course, subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to learn more about the coaching programs we offer at the Center for Executive Coaching, go to centerforexecutivecoaching.com or visit my own dedicated website, BAECTraining.com. Thank you very much.